I still remember the exact moment I realized my own blood saw me as an ATM with a heartbeat. It was a Thursday night, dried chicken shrinking on the plate, the TV flickering silently in the corner like it was embarrassed to be there. And my father raised his glass, clink, like we were celebrating something beautiful, and said, "Great news, son. That 45 grand bonus of yours, we're putting it toward the family cruise. $45,000. My money." Announced like he'd just found a coupon in the Sunday paper. I felt the room tilt. The air thickened, tasting like overcooked poultry and betrayal. I looked at him, then at Mom, who was already smiling that bright, harmless smile she uses on strangers. My sister Harper and her husband Derek sat across from me, grinning like kids who'd been promised Disney. And I asked the only question that mattered. How do you even know about that bonus? Mom let out this little laugh, light as champagne bubbles. "Oh, honey, we read your mail." Just like that. No chum, no whisper. "We read your mail." As if she'd said we borrowed your lawnmower. That's when a hook sank in, deep, cold, irreversible. Because it wasn't the cruise. It wasn't even the money. It was the absolute certainty in their voices that what was mine was theirs. My name is Ethan Reed. I'm 39. I run a boxing gym and coach kids who've been told their whole lives they're nothing. I'm up at 5 every morning, unlocking the doors while the city's still asleep. I tape wrists, I correct stances, I tell teenagers to keep their hands up when life keeps swinging. I'm not famous. I'm not rich. But I'm careful. I save. I plan. I say no when I have to. And for years, that made me the family's favorite resource. Growing up, we weren't broke in the dramatic way. No evictions, no empty fridge. We were just comfortable letting me carry the weight. Dad, Ron, is 65 now, retired from managing a parts warehouse, still shocked that gas isn't 89 cents a gallon. Mom, Diane, is 62, warm as fresh cookies to anyone outside these walls. But inside she's a master at making needs sound like love. Harper's 35, always the dreamer, always the one who just needs a little help this one time. I was the steady one, the one who didn't cry when the car broke down, the one who picked up extra shifts, the one who, at 19, moved into a studio with a hot plate and kept sending money home when Mom's hours got cut. I told myself it was temporary. That family helps family. But temporary turned into habit. Habit turned into expectation. There were signs I ignored. Mom asking about my new health plan before I'd even enrolled. Dad mentioning my raise coaching rates like he'd seen the contract. Harper calling in tears because her phone was literally dying. And could I just put the new one on my card? She'd pay me back, promise. I started saying no in small ways. And every time the script flipped, I became cold, complicated, ungrateful. Then the loan started. $2,000 for Harper's transmission. $1,400 because Derek forgot rent was due. $600 because the kids outgrew everything at once. Always urgent. Always emotional. Always "we'll get you next month." Next month never came. I kept spreadsheets. Quiet ones. Dates, amounts, promises broken. Not because I'm cruel, because numbers don't guilt trip you. I still use my parents' address for official mail. Old habit. Their house never changed. My apartments did. Mom always said, "I'll keep it safe for you." I believed her. I shouldn't have. The bonus was real. A retention incentive from the regional youth boxing program I'd helped build. We hit every target, participation up, dropout rate down. $45,000, taxed heavily but mine. Earned. The letter came sealed, official, addressed to me at their house. They opened it. Read it. Planned a cruise around it. 8 nights. Caribbean. Balcony cabins. Deposits due the next day. And they sat there at that dinner table, waiting for me to say thank you. But that wasn't the worst of it. After dinner, I excused myself, walked to the hallway, pulled out my phone, called the program's HR line I'd saved months earlier and never used. "Hi, this is Ethan Reed. I need to update my mailing address and direct deposit immediately." I gave them the new address, the one I hadn't told anyone about yet, because I'd already moved. 2 weeks earlier, quietly, I'd signed a lease on a small 1-bedroom, 15 minutes from the gym. No forwarding address left behind. No goodbye tour. I paid the deposit in cash from my emergency fund. I changed every password, froze my credit, set up a P.O. box, opened a new checking account at a bank they'd never heard of. I didn't do it out of spite. I did it because I was tired of being a vending machine. The next morning, they tried to book the cruise. Mom texted, travel agent at 11. Bring your card. We're so excited. I didn't reply. Then the calls came. Dad, Harper, Derek. All voicemails I let pile up like unread mail. At 11:42 a.m., Mom texted again. The agent says we can't put the deposit down without you. They need the card from the person whose bonus is paying. I laughed alone in my empty new apartment, sitting on the floor, eating cold Thai food from the carton. Then I drove to the agency anyway. It was in a strip mall, fluorescent lights humming. My family sat in a half circle like they were waiting for a verdict. The agent, Lisa, looked relieved when I walked in. Dad stood. There he is. Let's get this done. He said. Calm. Lisa, I said, just to confirm. Who told you my bonus was funding this trip? Lisa glanced at Mom. Mom jumped in. We knew he'd want to treat everyone. He always does. I nodded slowly. Then I turned to them. I'm not authorizing any payment. Please remove my name from this booking entirely. Dad's face went red. Ethan, 1 second. I held up a finger. The money you're talking about? It's already in an account you don't have access to. Direct deposit changed yesterday. Mailing address updated. Every piece of paper that matters now goes to a place you've never been. Mom's voice cracked. You moved? Without telling us. I didn't feel safe telling you, I said, because you opened my mail. You read my private financial letters. You plan vacations with money that isn't yours. Harper scoffed. You're seriously doing this over a cruise? No, I said. I'm doing this because you treat my life like a shared Google Doc you can edit whenever you want. Silence. Thick, heavy silence. Lisa cleared her throat. Without authorization, I can't process anything. I'll release the cabins. Dad started to argue, but Lisa was already closing the file. I stood. From now on, I said, my money, my address, my life, they're mine. If there's a real emergency, call 911. Otherwise, figure it out. I walked out. The fallout was predictable. Angry voicemails. Guilt paragraphs. A Facebook post from Harper about how some people choose money over family. Heart emojis from cousins who don't know the story. I didn't respond. I just kept showing up at the gym at 5:30 a.m. taping wrists. Correcting stances. Telling kids to keep their hands up. Because here's the truth they never understood. I wasn't punishing them. I was finally protecting me. And if you're watching this and you've ever felt like the reliable one, the one they call when the bill comes, the one whose no gets treated like betrayal, tell me in the comments. If it were you, would you have paid for the cruise? Or would you have walked away too? Thanks for watching. Do subscribe for more stories.